Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another theory video. The theory today is Crash Bandicoot crates. Is there lore behind them, or are they purely a meta mechanic for the video games? I think after I'm done explaining my theory, you'll all agree it makes a lot of sense. If this is your first time coming to the channel, we release Crash Bandicoot content every weekend. Usually Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. We discuss lore, theories, we debunk some theories, we talk news, and I will also do reviews on Crash video games and toys that I get throughout the years. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, consider subscribing. With that all out of the way, let's get back to the topic. Crates. During the development of Crash Bandicoot 1, once they finished designing the levels, they said that it felt barren and empty. So they created the crates to fill up the level, give you something extra to do instead of just getting from point A to point B. Now you can break some crates along the way, and if you get them all, you're rewarded with a gem. So that's all a meta perspective. But can we find lore reasons for the crates? Shockingly, there is some lore in the series that we don't have to speculate on. It's actually fact. So we're going to show you where the Akuaku crates originate. In the manual for Crash Bandicoot 1, it says, Akuaku has scattered masks throughout the islands to help Crash succeed. So all the crates that you see on the islands that have Akuaku in them were made by Akuaku himself. In Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, there were flashback tapes. And in those flashback tapes, it was showing Crash being trained by Dr. Cortex to become one of his Cortex commandos. And in the flashback tapes, there were standard crates, TNT crates, nitro crates, and bouncy crates. So these were created by Cortex to train Crash to become the leader of his commandos. So Cortex actually made these crates for a purpose. They're not just there for meta video game reasons. However, that begs to ask one more question. Why are there crates full of Wompa Fruits scattered throughout the island? There are seemingly endless amounts of Wompa Fruit all over the place, in crates, ready for Crash to break them open and collect. It makes sense that Dr. Cortex would scatter TNT crates and nitro crates all throughout the islands to stop Crash Bandicoot from getting back to Cortex's island in Crash Bandicoot 1. And again, in Crash Bandicoot 2, Embryo's trying to stop Crash, so he could have thrown out the crates there to slow Crash down on his way as well. And in Crash Warped, they could have tossed the crates into the Time Twister machine. However, why would there be crates that reward Crash with Wumpa Fruits? I think I have the answer. So as you can see here, Cortex is in his lab. Cortex has tons of machines, tons and tons of machinery. Where does he get all this money to fund all of his experiments? He has multiple labs full of stuff, huge labs. He has an iceberg lab, he has the one in his castle. Crash on the Run, it's not specified where this castle is, this castle lab, but it is gigantic, and it's chock full of his experiments and his mechanics. Where does Cortex get all the money? I think Cortex actually boxes up these Wumpa Fruit and sells them for profit. We know he doesn't like them. He's allergic to them, as stated in one of the flashback tapes from Crash 4. He tried them and he got sick. So we know he doesn't collect them to eat them, but I think he collects them all up in boxes. He might even have his lab assistants doing this, going throughout the island, collecting them up, putting them in boxes, to ship them out to sell them. Because these Wumpa Fruit, while they seem very plentiful in the Crash Bandicoot franchise, you have to realize that Crash is only exploring the main islands in the first and second game, and then in Crash Bandicoot Warped, he's going through the Time Twister. So the crates are localized in the original trilogy on Cortex's islands and then thrown into the Time Twister machine. The Wumpas are rare when it comes to being available throughout the world, because if you remember when we went to the different island motor world in Crash Tag Team Racing, there were no Wumpas there, period. So I personally believe that Dr. Cortex is boxing up these Wumpas to sell for a profit to pay for all of his experiments. So there is a lore explanation as to where the crates came from and were originally intended in the original trilogy. Beyond that, we might have to have another theory video as to why they keep popping up crates on different planets and different locations that Crash explores. But for the first original trilogy, I think Cortex was selling Wompa Fruit for profit. So that's the theory. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it to the end of this video, we can have a secret word to put in the comment section. We can say Crash Dance. I hope you enjoyed the video and you have a great night. See you next time.